Hi, I'm Dakota Eldridge, steer wrestler. Rodeo Houston Rap starts now.
And there's a look at Clint Lay riding bareback for Team Rodeo Houston. Hi everyone, and welcome into Rodeo Houston Rap. That's right, it is the Super Shootout, North America's champions. A rodeo, a single rodeo, all unto itself out here at Rodeo Houston. One of the most exciting nights of the rodeo season. Who will go home with the $25,000? Well, let's get right to the guys who called all the action. Boyd Polhamus and Bob Tallman.
Thanks, Patty. You bet. Clint Lay riding for Team Rodeo Houston. Would Rodeo Houston hold on and win the team title? We're going to save that news for later. Bobby, I just love this format. I love seeing these champions who have all these resumes and that come in here and compete for those home committees that host those rodeos. It's just a fun format.
When you have $250,000 in one day and you have an opportunity for the best horses against the best champions, and then you put a crowd of 70,000 people in front of them. Super Shootout has become something because of the effort that Houston puts in. Nothing against Fort Worth or Salt Lake City or Cheyenne or any of those other committees that put on rodeos. But this is the ultimate of the shootouts.
Well, and I really like the fact that the fans in-house got it. You know, they knew when it was a Rodeo Houston competitor that they wanted to see them win. So let's find out who won. Let's go to the highlights, shall we? Bareback bronc riding is where we're going to start. Well, it was Austin's Orrin Larson. This guy's been hot this year. I mean, he just won $100,000 last week at the American, but here he was representing Austin, Texas, Rodeo Austin. What a beautiful ride. 89 points, but 89 doesn't get it done at a Super Shootout.
Well, Richie Champion was a hometown hero today because he's born and raised in the Woodlands, but he was riding for the Calgary Stampede, and he put that ride together for 91 points. When Boyd had a chance to interview him, he was sweaty, but the Calgary Stampede gets their name in lights with his $25,000, Orrin Larson another 10, Clint Lay, the Canadian, at 55, and Ty Brewer, he slides in for Fort Worth, my team, at 35.
Yeah, but it's important now that Houston won money in that, and the goal here is to win as much money as a team as you can. Now, that 90-point ride wouldn't be the only one. As we go to the saddle bronc riding, here we go again, Team Austin. This time, the Canadian Clay Elliott riding for Rodeo Austin. Just a gorgeous effort. 91 points. There is no way to knock that ride.
Well, this will blow your skirt up. Hey, watch this. Rider Wright is about to show you what the Calgary Stampede's going to do 2 events in a row, and this is going to be a 92-point ride.
So once again, Austin and Calgary finish first and second, respectively. There's Rider Wright with $25,000. Clay, did Houston get? Yep, they got $3,500 from Cody DeMoss. So Houston's placing, but they're not winning, and the numbers are starting to run away. Let's go now to the bull riding. National Western Stock Show and Rodeo champion. This is a young 20-year-old. This is Chase Dougherty. He would only take second-place money. Couldn't catch Trey Benton.
Trey Benton's going to take the title out west to San Angelo to their Stock Show and Rodeo. And another, it seemed to be the score of the day, 91 points. Benton at the top, San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, proud of that. Benton gets 25 grand, Dougherty gets 10. Sage Steele Kimsey in for 55 and Garrett Smith at 35.
So right now, at this point, before we get to the timed events, it looks like it's a dogfight between Calgary and Austin.
Yep.
Houston's placed in 2 out of the 3 events, but not 3 out of 3.
Well, Fort Worth was in for 2, but at the bottom every time.
Yeah, and Austin had all 5 of their competitors make it out of the 8th round into the shootout round. So will Austin hold on to win? I'm going to ask. Don't give it away. We already know the answer. We're not going to give it away until the very end, okay, folks? Just not going to do it. Let's get to the highlights in the steer wrestling. Austin, here you come again. And here I go. Cole Edge, 5.3. I think Dolly Parton made that line. Right?
Well, Justin Schoffer's going to show you what a 4.9 looks like to take Austin off the map, put them in the second spot, and who is it? The Days of 47, Salt Lake City, Utah.
But here we go. Salt Lake gets their first win. Austin gets their 3rd second-place finish. Calgary ends up in the number 3. They had won the first 2 events that we'd shown you. And then San Antonio actually scratches the board. Now, on to the barrel racing where the National Western comes running again. The blonde bomber, Christine Laughlin from Pueblo, Colorado, would get around 3 barrels, smooth as glass, 14:42.
Yeah, but I like this because you brought it all to the final head. Nellie Williams-Miller, Cottonwood, California, 14:21 in Houston is who she rides for. But the big deal is she's a mother of 2. She's won Houston twice. Then she comes back and wins the Super Series again. That's big winning and another $25,000. This city's been so good to her.
Yeah, Super Shootout. She's won over 100,000. There are your team standings. The Calgary Stampede would hold on, edge out Austin. Houston was very respectable. They finished in the top 3 with 37,000. By the way, Calgary Stampede team, those players split another 12,500 because they were the winning team. So that's a pretty cool deal. So, Bobby T, what do you take out of this Super Shootout of this day?
Well, I take out of this those who have been quite well, haven't been in Super Series 5 yet, which starts tomorrow. This kind of gives them a pump up and it puts some air in them for the next 3 days in that Super Series. But what it shows you is those who have been winning in the last year at those 8 major rodeos showed up here and put their best foot forward again.
And it was a prize fight. I mean, it was a boxing match in a lot of these events. And look, you know, one of the things is it's cool when the Calgary Stampede, which is obviously one of the biggest events of the year in any season, when their team would hold on to win first, and you know what helped them win first? A guy that grew up in the Woodlands, Texas, started off as a cowboy-mounted shooter before he became a Calgary Stampede champion and would help Calgary win the Super Shootout today. And when we come back, Patty Smith will be standing beside Richie Champion. Stay where you're at.
Come on, Sage.
Ride a bull, buddy, ride a bull. Right foot. Yes. Yes, left foot. Left.
Wow. Yeah. How many recoveries can you make in one ride?
And welcome back to Rodeo Houston Wrap. Joining me now, your bareback champion tonight, Richie Champion from, we love to say the Woodlands, Texas, but $25,000, this golden boot. What does this mean to you tonight?
This is awesome. I love coming to this rodeo. I've never made the finals here. I've been in the shootout a couple times, but it's my first big win in this arena, so that's really special to me.
Well, you know, and regardless of what team you were riding for, everybody in this arena is always cheering for the Rodeo Houston team. You weren't riding for that team, but when they say the Woodlands, Texas, and you've got 70,000 fans here just cheering for you, that's got to fire you up.
Absolutely. You know, my family's here, and everybody, you know, they announce that, and they stop and say hi. So that's it's really a cool environment for me to get to do what I do. And
I've only got one more thing on that Houston bucket list, and that's to come back for the $50,000.
Exactly. Let's get it started.
All right. Thank you, Richie. Congratulations. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back, and Boyd and I will wrap it all up. And welcome back to the show. The A-Team joining you once again. Wow, what a great rodeo. And we just heard from Richie Champion, you know, one of our favorite cowboys, one of my favorite for sure to watch. But the coolest part about it, as we just talked to Richie about, just such a fan favorite.
Yeah, and you can't make that enthusiasm up. You can't make it up in Richie's voice when he's sitting there talking to you about how excited it is to take this $25,000 home. And the fans inside the room were just so electric, especially when it was somebody like Richie who they knew. They didn't care if he was riding for Calgary or not at that point. It was just somebody they wanted to see do well.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because you come to this rodeo and we like it, and we always talk about, we talked about it yesterday, how much this is one of our favorites, the Shootout. And I think it takes a minute for the fans to sort of get kind of in tune with what's going on with this whole team concept. But whenever you say Rodeo Houston, they're going crazy. Yet by the time Richie comes along, he's not for Rodeo Houston, he's for Calgary, but they still sort of get it.
And I love the way that we're able to, with the graphics inside the room, show you how many people are advancing. So, I mean, typically, if you've got 3 guys going to the shootout round, you've got a good chance of winning it. But here, Rodeo Austin had 5 people make the final shootout round and still didn't win it. It was Calgary that won it, with just 3 guys making it to the finals because they showed up when the pressure was on. Well,
we still got about a week to go. So tomorrow it's back to Super Series 5, back to sort of the normal format before we get into the championship rounds. You know, this kind of home stretch as we're going into this last one. What are you looking for? What do you expect to see?
I'm looking at Trey Benton, who won this today, and the fact that he'll be going up against Sage Kimsey, the 5-time and reigning world champion bull rider. They're in Super Series number 5, which kicks off tomorrow. So I look for that contest to be really, really something to watch in the future, or the next Super Series.
Yeah, and then, of course, the Super Series being 3 more rodeos. Then we start the semifinals and the finals where our Cowboys and Cowgirls are looking for that big $50,000 check.
Amen. It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting. Come on out here to Rodeo Houston. There's still time for you to catch it. Some great shows, great concerts going on. And, of course, if you can't make it out here to see us, see the Cowboys, see the A-Team, you can still catch the A-Team right here on Fox Sports Southwest. We are streaming nightly, and, of course, we will be televising the final rodeos of the weekend in the Championship Series. Have a great night, everyone.
Astronaut. There you go, Cohen.
And Cohen up and at him with a big wave. Great job, Cohen.
Abby loves watching bull riding, and she wants to be a paleontologist. Come on down, Abby.
There goes Abby all the way across. Woo. She would have kept going had she not run into those sheep.